Hi friends, I hope you have a wonderful day, and this time I'm gonna be reacting to what happens to all F1 cars. Oh my. Yeah, this sounds really interesting. I can't imagine. Maybe they are taking them apart and somehow reuse it? No? Put it them on a side, make a pile of cars? I don't know. Let's just check it out.
These are all official Formula One cars worth millions of dollars, yet they're all seemingly abandoned. Every season, at least 20 cars are discarded to make place for the new and updated model.
Lando Norris with a move of the
New and updated model? I thought that they are, if there isn't like a big change, that they are just switching some parts. Not the whole car. Huh? I don't know.
hairpin. The top two in the World Championship side by side.
But what happens to the old ones? From ending up in huge collections to random guys' garages, the stories of these old F1 cars are quite frankly unbelievable. Especially this one. F1 is arguably the most advanced sport on the planet. Every year, teams throw everything at it. Crazy engineering, thousands of wind tunnel hours, hundreds of people, and millions of dollars. All for one goal, make the fastest car possible. But here's the thing, F1...
But like, I somewhere saw that, I guess it was Red Bull? That they had like a display of all the cars that they had? No? No?
Cars aren't just race cars. They're basically rolling science labs. Every season, engineers cram them with these wild ideas and the newest tech they can get their hands on. And if you check out an F1 car closely, you can pretty much see what tech and safety looked like in that era. A lot of that tech eventually makes its way into road cars. So yeah, even your 20-year-old Renault Clio has a little bit of F1 DNA in it. But here's the catch. Because technology moves insanely fast, those same cars become outdated almost instantly. The moment the season ends, that cutting-edge machine, already old news. The rules change, the designs evolve, and teams are already working on the next car by mid-season. So what happens at the end of the season? Well, all the cars get shipped back to the factories. And here's the thing, teams don't just build 2 chassis for their drivers. Nope, over the course of a season they can go through up to 7 chassis per driver. Sometimes it's because of upgrades, and sometimes it's because, well, you've got Stroll smashing cars left and right.
Wow, that is a big, big hit.
His own or someone else's, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Now, if a team has leased engines or other parts from a manufacturer, those have to be returned. For example, Haas, which basically runs Ferrari parts, has to ship everything back to Maranello. Just like McLaren does with their Mercedes engines, the manufacturers are the ones who keep all the goodies. Meanwhile, the teams are already juggling parts for the next season, and a lot of that stuff can still be useful. Some components still have valuable tricks up their sleeves. That's why teams have super strict management systems for all these parts. They check if they can be used in future upgrades, fitted into older cars, don't worry, I'll get to that, or if they're just junk now. Either way, nothing gets thrown in a box at random. Everything is carefully catalogued, tagged, and stored. From the chassis all the way down to the tiniest bolt. Because in F1, even a screw gets VIP treatment. But what about the cars themselves? Well, most teams have a heritage department in their factories. Basically a giant vault where they stash all their old machines. The cars look like they're ready to race, but in reality, they're completely hollow inside. Just shells. McLaren show theirs off at the Technology Centre in Woking. Mercedes has them in Brackley and Brixworth, Red Bull in Milton Keynes, and of course Ferrari in Maranello. And trust me, we're talking hundreds and hundreds of cars and parts. Some are put on display like a museum so visitors can go and gawk and snap photos, while others are hidden away like state secrets. Teams like McLaren or Ferrari can have as many as 75 historic cars just chilling in storage. A lot of these cars also get shipped around from place to place to be displayed at festivals, sponsor events, and car showrooms. Sometimes sponsors even get a whole car or parts of one because it's written in their contracts. So yeah, one day you might walk into an office or a random store and see an F1 car sitting there and go, wait, what the hell? Then you notice the sponsor's logo plastered everywhere, and it all makes sense. But that's not all the teams do with their old cars. The best way to keep them alive? By driving them. Yep, you heard that right. Lots of teams still take their old cars out for show runs all over the world. The V8 era cars are especially popular.
I remember that there was a video where Hamilton was driving Senna's car. Yeah, it was Senna's car, sorry. So yeah, that still was a surprise that that car actually worked But yeah.
Simpler and way cheaper to run than modern ones. You've probably seen Red Bull 1,000 times doing crazy stuff with their old cars, driving through the streets of New York and San Francisco, blasting around in the snow, or
What?
putting on huge
What? I haven't seen that. I need to see that. Please send me a video.
demos for fans in places like Madrid, Jeddah, or Dallas, with massive crowds turning up. Mercedes and Ferrari are the other big teams in the showroom game too. And yeah, you can imagine how expensive these events are. Because trust me, you'll never see a sketchy backmarker team pulling one off. Another place old F1 cars can end up with the drivers themselves. Yep, some teams literally hand them over as gifts. Benetton gave Schumacher his title-winning cars from 94 and 95. Red Bull hooked up Vettel with his 2011 championship car, and Ferrari even gifted Leclerc the 2019 car he scored his very first win with.
Aww.
Leclerc can now see the checkered flag, and for the first time ever, Charles Leclerc wins a Formula One Grand Prix. Charles Leclerc wins the Belgian Grand Prix.
Not a bad souvenir, right? Then you've got the weird cases like Jenson Button. He actually had to take Mercedes to court after they bought Braun GP in 2009 because they refused to give him his championship winning Braun.
Jenson Button, the 2009 World Champion. Look at the relief, look at the joy. It's all now out in the open.
Even though his contract said he was supposed to get it. Imagine winning the title, then having to sue your own team just to keep the car. And then there's Alonso. Renault
That's just oof. But like, it was in your contract, so couldn't you just sue them or something?
handed him his 2005 championship car, and you can bet a little light bulb went off in his head right there. Fast forward a few years, and the guy's got a full-blown Alonso theme park in his hometown of Oviedo. Cars, helmets, race suits,
What?
trophies, basically everything but the kitchen sink. If you're an F1 fan, walking in there's like hitting the jackpot. Alonso's collection has grown thanks to a mix of gifts, like the Renault title car, plus a few McLarens the team handed over, some loan deals with teams that let him keep the cars for display, and of course, a few he's bought himself. The guy basically used every possible trick to build his museum. But he's not the only one. Vettel, for example, went shopping in 2020 and bought a Williams FW14B. Yep, the same car Nigel Mansell used to win the 1992 championship. He's even taken it out for show runs, and fans absolutely lost it seeing that thing on track again. And it's not just the drivers who get their hands on these gems. Team bosses and F1 power players like to treat themselves too. One of the most jaw-dropping collections belongs to Zach Brown, the CEO of McLaren. His garage is ridiculous. Supercars, NASCARs, IndyCars, and a lineup of iconic F1 machines. We're talking the exact McLaren MP46 that Senna drove to
I can't imagine that how much he is getting in his work, like money-wise, like pay. Oh my god, that you could buy so much cars. Oh my god. Probably he was rich before then.
to victory in Monaco in 1991, Häkkinen's 2001 McLaren MP416, and even Mario Andretti's legendary Lotus 79. And that's just scratching the surface. Another F1 legend who ended up amassing a massive collection of cars, Bernie Eccleston. He built a collection of 69 cars worth hundreds of millions of dollars, including championship-winning Ferraris from Schumacher, Lauda, and Hawthorne, a bunch of Brabhams, the team he actually owned, and even older cars from Maserati, BRM, and Van Wall. The former F1 boss sold his collection to Mark Mateschitz, the son of Red Bull co-founder Dietrich, at the end of 2024. The deal was estimated at over $600 million, so yeah, if you're thinking about starting your own F1 collection, you might want to check your budget first. But it's not just celebrities who can
I don't think that I could start a one like this. Not in this life. Oh my god.
buy F1 cars. Actually, you can too. Some teams put them up for sale, but there are rules. The cars have to be at least 5 years old, completely obsolete, so their technology and regulations can no longer be used in modern cars. And the thing is, anyone can buy an F1 car at a live auction, online through teams or private agencies, fancy luxury websites. Heck, even on eBay if some lucky soul decides to sell theirs. That's why the destinations of F1
Actually, I seriously didn't think that you could buy that on eBay. Oh my.
cars are basically endless. Some people keep them in their living rooms, some in garages, and some, believe it or not, Just leave them abandoned in a garden or sitting on the street. Bro, how dare they? Just imagine all the hidden treasures out there gathering dust. And trust me, the stories out there are wild. Like, there are some guys who got their hands on parts of the 2014 Caterham after the team went bankrupt, and they're slowly trying to rebuild the car. It's such a cool project. And then there's the story of the 2002 McLaren that was in the McLaren Museum, but the team decided it wasn't in great shape anymore. Since it had a bunch of patented tech they didn't want stolen, they literally just sent it off to the scrapyard to be destroyed. The dudes at the yard didn't want to crush it, and I'd be the same, but they had no choice. Just type in F1 cars for sale into Google and prepare to have your brain explode with results. But the real question is, how many kidney donations is this going to cost you? So prices vary a
I think not enough, because we have just 2.
lot, anywhere from around $25,000 all the way up to $7.5 million, which is what some F1 cars have gone for at auction. Obviously, the price depends on the car, the team, the year, who drove it, and whether it was a championship contender or just some sketchy backmarker nobody remembers. For example, Fangio's 1954 Mercedes W196 sold.
What is this? What? This is F1? No way. It can't be. It can't be. It's just a car. But what? I haven't seen anything like this.
For nearly $30 million in 2013, making it the most expensive F1 car ever. But the
It's
real
F1?
money killer, whether the car still has
Oh, probably one of the first ones. I remember that in one video I was laughing that some of the cars looks like a frogs. And they didn't look like now they look. Oh my god. But that was a good one, right?
as its engine. The engine is by far the priciest part. You could grab an empty car and use it as a fancy living room decoration, or hey, a giant bed if that's your vibe. Or you could spring for a fully loaded car that you could actually take out on track. And here's the kicker. A new F1 engine can cost up to $11 million, or even $16 million for the latest ones. But buying it, that's just step one. Maintenance is where it gets really crazy. Trust me, watching through YouTube tutorials won't make it magically start. You need a full pit crew of mechanics and experts just to keep it alive. There are some companies that do all this for you though. Maintenance, storage, even driving training so you can actually take the car out on track. Prices range from about $2,000 per session, up to $30,000 for the full course. Some teams even run full programs for this, like Ferrari's Corsi Clienti, aimed at rich folks buying their F1 cars. They'll truck your car to the circuit and get you a full pit crew at your disposal. You can drive your Ferrari on tracks like Monza, Imola, or Spa. And if you're really rich, you can even race them in historic events, like the historic Grand Prix of Monaco, or the Jerez Historic Festival, going wheel to wheel with other vintage F1 cars, basically channeling your inner Lauda or Schumacher. Believe it or not, there are actually some pretty cool options for us mortals too. There are companies where you can actually drive real F1 cars, and I'm not talking about those places where you pay $100 for a few laps in a scrappy junior car that kind of looks like an F1 car. No, I mean a real, honest-to-God F1 car. Some companies will even let you take a few laps in an old F1 car for around $1,000. So, would you drop that cash? You can also grab parts of F1 cars, front rear wings, side pods, brake discs, and turn them into epic decorations for your room, so you can keep your virgin cred alive anytime a girl walks in. Some companies, even F1 itself, go next level and redesign tires, nuts, and gears into tables, chairs, and even chessboards. So yeah, you can have a legit piece of F1 history chilling in your living room without even selling your soul. Though, don't expect it to come with an IKEA price tag. So, yeah, there are a ton of places an old F1 car can end up. Did you imagine there would be this many? If you like this video, I've got another one here that you'll love too. And as always, thank you for watching.
Yeah, but this was crazy. I don't know why I just thought that they, like he said, like, some parts are going, basically reused. But yeah, I mainly thought, yeah, that they are just putting away in their I don't know, museum or something like that. But yeah, oh my, this was really interesting. I seriously didn't expect that you could buy your own F1. Like, it would be cool, but what? Yeah. But money-wise, everything is so damn expensive. Oh my. So yeah, thank you for watching this video, and thank you for suggesting it, and yeah. Hopefully I'm gonna see you next time. Bye.